So, namaste everyone. Welcome to this chat. This is the first of many, hopefully, with people whose opinions I think everyone needs to hear. And it's an absolute honor to have Rahul Ram with me today, who's a doyen of the scene. He requires no introduction, of course. And yeah, we'll be talking about some music, some politics, and everything in between. And let's see where this goes. Rahulji, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for making the time to come and have this chat with
Thank you,
me.
sir. Pleasure. Making the time, man. We have nothing but time now.
Yeah. If time was money,
Yeah, musicians have more time, and musicians are all about their own timing. They're very my timing must be good. Now, man, you can do whatever you want.
सम पे आने का है, सम किधर बैठा है अपने को दिख रहा भी नहीं है तो so I believe Indian Ocean started in 91, no, am I right?
90.
Okay, 90. Lovely. So I just wanted to know from you, what drove you guys, because it's such a fresh sound. A lot of us grew up listening to Indian Ocean, and it was a kind of entry point for a lot of us because we heard this meeting of the worlds of sort, and then of course we moved on to other things like Shakti and so on, and then it kept building from there. But Indian Ocean gave us that basis to, especially as a bass player, your bass playing, um, and the very Indian touch to it really inspired an entire generation. So I'd like to know from you what was the kind of milieu within which this was born.
So I joined Indian Ocean a year after the band was formed. So the basic sound had already been kind of, it was Shushmit's guitar and Oshim's tabla that was the basis of the Indian Ocean sound. And I think Shushmit says that he heard a lot of classical music when he was in college and was very impressed with the type of feelings that music could arouse. And so even though he never had any practical training or in classical, he started thinking about, so basically it came down to playing in modes, So, I mean, I don't know, कि राग नहीं है ठाट है.
Correct.
Because राग की knowledge थी नहीं हम किसी में भी. और ठाट की knowledge तो, I mean, ठाट is a ठाट. You're given it and it's a scale and you play and playing continuously in any scale for a long time, especially the non-standard, major minor type stuff, leads to a lot of tunes coming out, thoughts coming out, and I think that's what Indian Ocean was based in. And I joined in 91 because I used to actually be in school with Shushmit for years and years. And I didn't think of him as a guitar player at all because he didn't play guitar in school. And so then he told me, I have a band, come and check it out. So I went over to his house for dinner one day and I heard this, they had recorded a 45-minute demo. And it was fantastic. So I said, "Arey wah yaar, ye to bahut hi acha hai." Because to me also it was, like you said, totally fresh and totally new and a nice way of doing things and a challenge. So I and then did what the music required. With Indian Ocean as it is with other stuff. Because Indian Ocean में खासियत ये है कि chord structure as such is not present. So
right.
Because we don't have a keyboard player and because our guitar player was mainly playing lead lines, the chord is implied, it's not there. It doesn't need to be. And so you come up with your own way of doing things around those lines. And then so bass player. So I think that kind of meshed and I will take credit for is I pushed the introduction of vocals into Indian Ocean. So it was much more instrumental earlier and then it became a more gradually vocals came in different ways because I realized Oshim, the tabla player, had a fantastic voice, and I was like, why aren't we using this voice? Why aren't we singing? Because people love to hear you sing. And so from there, I think vocals came in, and then we evolved.
Oh, lovely. Glad to hear this because, um, as a bass player, um, and when I compose also, what you say about the chord structure and the implied nature of it in Indian Ocean, it now puts it into perspective for me personally because um, there's that movement without explicit movement. I don't know if I'm making sense, but uh, it just it touches a nerve somewhere, and I think it really has changed the landscape of how we create music as bands in India because you have these two words that meet so harmoniously together, in Indian Ocean.
हाँ, पता है
And
पहले क्या होता था? That they were, I mean, in 92, 93, 94, when suddenly a lot of, after liberalization, a lot of music companies started.
yeah,
And so there were these fusion bands, like I think there was a band called Divya, a band called Megha, out of Chennai and Bangalore. But उसमें क्या था that there was a bunch of guys who would play only Western and a bunch of guys who would play only Indian. They would come up with one tune, everybody would play it together, and then the Western guy would take off over a series of chords, and then the Indian guy would take off over tabla or a mridangam or a ghatam or whatever. That is not fusion. That is jabardasti. So I think the lack of training in either style helped in Ocean. That we've heard of the things, but we have not been explicitly trained to be classical Hindustan ever. And so, because you don't have rules, you don't break them.
absolutely. Yeah, and there's no orthodoxy, no? The orthodoxy dies right there. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, even now
Yeah.
you'll see a lot of chaps, एक कोरवाई लेके तकीटा तकदीमी करते रहते हैं. It just makes no sense, you know what I'm saying? It just, it doesn't hit that sweet
So
spot.
it makes sense internally, the
Hmm.
core way. Like I'll tell you
Yeah,
when we were recording, yeah. But whether it adds to the composition as a whole or whether it's integrated into the composition, that we guys gave a lot of attention to. That suddenly random चीजें नहीं होंगी यार. वो composition move forward करेगा. So हमारा guitar solo नहीं होता है in that sense. Even now, the solo is actually a piece by itself, not over the same structure of what has gone earlier, which is what normally a solo is, right?
yeah.
A guitar solo normally is over the chords of the song. पर हमारा ऐसा है ही नहीं. हमारा solo free है. तुमको जहाँ जाना जाओ, and then you take it to the next. So the solo moves the song along. It's not an interlude, so to speak.
Right.
We did away with this concept of interlude because it's all one whole thing, and one leads to the other. So yes, there are unexpected changes. We go off in different directions, but again, that's probably because of the lack of rules. There's no rule.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of it, yeah. And नहीं हमारे इसमें बॉम्बे में वो M1 M2 का कॉन्सेप्ट रहता है ना. It's just you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, very fascinating. Yeah. Because I've noticed this also in Indian Ocean कि every section is an entity in itself, right? Which then exponentially leads to some sort of samadhan, so to speak. So yeah, that throws a lot of light on it. Uh, so I'm sure this is one thing that you had to deal with, which is the kind of quasi hegemony that the film industry has over music in India, which over popular music, I should say, not music. How do you look at that about, for lack of a better word, Bollywood and its implications on how music is dealt with in popular culture?
Okay. So even today, I mean, today there are no record sales, but we knew that Bollywood and other film music, basically Tollywood, Collywood, whatever you add it up together, film music is 95% of the sales of music in the country. Everything else is 5%. चाहे क्लासिकल हो, चाहे गजल हो, कवाली, फोक, सब कुछ 5% में था. Now, when these new music companies came out, there was actually a big surge in indie music, which was quite interesting. So you're too young for this, I think, but 92, 93, in the 90s, as then Channel V and MTV came in, they were actually channels which were originally set up to be away from Bollywood. Because there were no Bollywood channels, actually, so to speak, at that time.
Right.
There were no channel ही नहीं थे, तो फिर. So MTV and VTV, Channel V gave a lot of scope to indie. But most of it was indie pop. Because, generically world over, pop sells more than anything else.
Of course.
So a whole slew of indie pop albums with companies like Magna Sound and, Crescendo Music and so on and so forth came out. It was quite interesting to see so many different types of singers. But gradually, I think reality set in. So I'll tell you about, say, I played bass in Silk Root's first album, Boonde.
Acha.
Okay. And the company invested at that time 45 lakhs in making 3 videos for them.
Man.
Can you imagine that today? You can't, because that was also the era before digital cams and digital editing and all that. So you had to have those huge cameras and the whole crew that goes with it. And so the cost, and they put in a lot of money. And a lot of companies were doing that with a lot of bands. Now, Indian Ocean never had that luck, actually, because we were not pop. So nobody was going to invest money in us. But at the same time, I'll tell you, by the time the Kandisa album came out, when Kandisa was being released, Times Music actually took out half-page ads in every edition of Times of India. That too is kind of unheard of for non-filmy, music.
Yeah.
So those were heady days, and then the hegemony of Bollywood reasserted itself. But let me also say that Bollywood also changed. A lot of these indie guys then, actually their aim was Bollywood. So like Mohit Chauhan जाके Bollywood singer बन गया. Much later, a decade later, Papon, the same story. Papon started off as an indie musician.
Yeah.
And then went on to become a Bollywood singer. KK, same thing. KK's album Pal, the indie album that he had released, is a beautiful album. But I think, so indie influenced Bollywood to the sense that Bollywood music started becoming broader.
Right.
Musicians started coming into Bollywood. The other thing I think has happened is that the directors of the films grew up listening to music from all over the world.
Right.
And so they wanted different sounds. So if you take Nagesh Kuknur, he had that Pakistani band Jal compose for 2 of his films, which was unheard of at that time. To have a band compose, music for a film. And so these are not very different from the Subhash Ghai sort of directors. So the Anurag Kashyaps and the Nagesh Kuknurs and, these guys they've heard different music. They want that different sound. Gradually the mold broke that we will now have a film with music by 3-4 different people. It doesn't have to be one music director. All of that started happening. And then look at even mainstream guys like Pritam for that album. What is that album in which that James sang that song, where he had a band, where there was actually a band.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Can't put my
Life in the Metro.
Correct.
Life in the Metro.
Life in the Metro, yeah. Yeah.
So उसमें तो बिल्कुल ही, and normally Pritam is a very standard Bollywood type guy, but he did this experiment, I think, because when he was a kid growing up in Cal, he had played with bands and he was also a fan of that music.
Yeah.
And that very, very famous song that Moiner Ghodaguli song.
Oh yeah, which he translated to Hindi, no? This thing.
न जाने कोई कैसी है ये
Correct,
जिंदगानी. So that's actually a Bengali, what do I call it? Indie song by a very, very famous band.
Gautam Chatterjee, yeah.
And James is one of the top indie singers of Bangladesh. So the influence became more. अब देखो इंडियन ओशन ने ब्लैक फ्राइडे कर दिया. अब ब्लैक फ्राइडे का अभी भी मैं कहता हूँ actually the background track of Black Friday is quite unique in Bollywood even today because it was composed by a band. And because we didn't have this Bollywood fetish for over orchestration, and we didn't have arrangers, we were our own arrangers. You know, कि मैं बजा दूंगा, एक अरेंजर बैठ के फिर 50 लेयर डालेगा उसमें. So वो सब नहीं था, तो बहुत ही अलग म्यूजिक बना. And धीरे धीरे अब आप देख रहे हो, मेरे को लगता है that the trend is continuing. But Bollywood then killed indie again.
Right.
So indie is again back to the margins. I mean, look at how MTV and Channel V have given up.
Absolutely. They've given up wholesale. It's
Yeah.
Because what is happening slowly, in my view, at least the way I see things, I mean, it's not happening slowly, it's been happening for decades. Music has become like a stepchild, in a sense. Music for the sake of music doesn't seem to exist in the popular sphere, at least, largely. So, I mean, do you see a way out in the sense of musicians being able to make music just for the sake of music and being able to sustain with it, in a sense, and gather audiences?
Yeah, you see, in fact, I think ulta hai, yaar. Look at the number of festivals that have started all over India. Okay, NH7 just being one of the prime examples, but there are now festivals everywhere. Look at how the music has changed. Look at how EDM came in.
Yeah.
Look at how rap, with Divine and people like that. And of course, there was that big surge of Punjabi, So all of that has come in. There are new things happening, and they're always coming from the indie guys. The new ideas are coming from the indie guys, with the possible exception of Rahman.
Right.
So Rahman, I think, also transformed film music quite substantially.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Our times, he was the biggest paradigm shifter. पिछले जमाने में तो ठीक है. RD was another paradigm shifter.
Of course, yeah.
And then Salil Chaudhary, completely different. Ilaiyaraaja, my God,
Giant.
what a body of music. Huh? Oh, amazing. So now the paradigm shifts, or the influencers are coming from indie music. अब तुम देख लो, पूरा रॉक ऑन करके फिल्म बन गया बैंड के बारे में, और फिर डिवाइन के ऊपर वो फिल्म बना, क्या है वो,
गली बॉय.
And in between, in the early 2000s, there had to be an obligatory Punjabi song in every film, regardless of context.
Yeah.
Because they were like Punjabis. बीच में वो सूफी आ गया था. सूफी कुछ भी साला सूफी बोला जा रहा था, regardless of the marketing of Sufi lost touch with the meaning of Sufi in the first place.
Absolutely.
सूफी को मार्केट करना ही एंटी सूफी है.
अरे, yeah, man.
So things have changed. I mean, Bollywood is not the same place it was before. It has more space. Indies have more space thanks to lot of different things. One is, of course, these festivals.
Yeah.
The other is digital technology.
Of course.
Listen, can you pause the recording?
Yeah.
Because I have.
I'll pause. Okay, we're back.
All so we are back after a coffee break. And I forget where we were before the break, but I'm going to jump to something which is, I hold quite dear to me, to my heart, which is that when we guys play rock in India, why do we copy? See, it came from there. We didn't make rock, right? So it's an entirely foreign import,
Absolutely.
which we are consuming as Indians with no knowledge of the social background from which these rockers made their music.
Yeah.
Right? So when you make music that is copying somebody else's social background without adding your social background, it becomes completely derivative and a little meaningless, I'm sad to say. So let's say you don't have the musical thing to change the way it's played. Let your lyrics change, man. At least your lyrics need to reflect your social reality.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, तुम साला स्वीट होम एल्बम गाएगा, तू एल्बम कभी जिंदगी में नहीं गया, तू क्या है एल्बम हाँ? कैलिफोर्निया ड्रीमिंग ऑन अ समर डे, क्या कैलिफोर्निया ड्रीमिंग कर रहा तू?
बराबर है.
ऑन अ विंटर्स डे, समर डे, विंटर्स डे. मतलब ठीक है, गाओ उन गानों को, मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ मत गाओ यार, हर सोसाइटी के बारे में सीखना चाहिए, मगर अपना जब बनाते हो तो अपना कुछ तो डालो उसमें यार.
बिल्कुल सही.
एंड हमारे देश में अच्छी पोएट्री की अभाव नहीं किसी भी भाषा में. एंड दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स आई एम सो प्राउड ऑफ, दैट इंडियन रॉक over the last at least couple of decades has moved on from being just copy.
Yeah.
Now it's being, look at Avial.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Look at Avial. They changed it, man. So Malayali rock, and their first album is all this old story. They're going back to, they're recreating in rock a story that is written 800, 900 years ago. I think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic. And, Bangla rock, of course, we know
Bangla rock. Yeah.
We were just, in fact, during the break, Keshav and I were discussing Moiner Ghodaguli, and what genre does that fit into? And it was completely new, it was completely different. And it was Indian because of the imagery of the lyrics. That's what made it more Indian than the music itself, which was, I would say, much more Western influence.
Yeah, quite American folkish.
Yeah, folkish. American folk, right, folk rock type stuff. So now, of course, yes, we have Rock On. We have a film that has so many bands singing in Hindi. If you go to the Northeast, there is Khasi rock. There is all kinds of rock. Okay, but Ahomiya, the thing is that they also came to it late. Earlier, they also used to just copy. So here is what I think, right? Our confidence and pride in our own culture as middle class and upper middle class Indians has definitely gone up in leaps and bounds over the years. When I was a kid, if you went to a party, only English music or Western music would play.
Yeah.
We didn't even play Bollywood. It was below, Hindi sunta hai, that kind of rubbish.
Like a Verni, look at the Vernis. That kind of...
Vernis, correct. Yeah. See, Verni is a Mumbai term. We don't use it here.
Okay.
Amge Dehati, Gawar,
हम लोग थोड़ा ज्यादा अंग्रेज हो गए ना इधर बॉम्बे में.
हाँ, Bernie, man, Bernie.
Yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
In fact, there is a term called Mufassil.
Mufassil, yeah.
Mufassil, now old English word.
Absolutely.
These are Mufassil buses. So it was, anyway. So now we play our own music. That is a reflection of the fact that we have good music being made here. Earlier also we had good music, but not something that appealed to the youngsters.
Right.
So we had film and then we had classical and folk.
And folk, and
We
yeah.
didn't have rock and pop made in an Indian style, in an Indian language, which people could relate to more easily. So I think it's a reflection of the fact that we've become more self-confident as people. And I also saw this when I went, when I went to the US as a PhD student. And my parents went to the US as postdoctoral students in 1959-60. In those days, those guys used to, like, say, so they went on a Ford Foundation or a Humphrey Fellow or a Fulbright Fellow. So they used to have classes. कांटा चम्मच से कैसे खाते हैं, etiquette के class, ये सब होते थे. And they used to be taken on trips to see the grandeur of American technology. Tennessee Valley Authority घुमाने. हमारे साथ साला किसी ने ऐसा कहीं से भी नहीं किया. हम लोग जानते थे कि हम जो घुस रहे हैं, we are in the top 1 to 2% of the students there. So we went in with our own confidence, cultural as well as academic, and nobody was going to teach us about the glories of American culture. Okay, the world changed.
Yeah.
And so I think that change, generational change if you wanted, and now I am that generation and you are next generation, I think you have way more of the confidence in yourself that you will not go to America as a गोरा मेरे को सिखाएगा.
Correct. Yeah.
वो कॉन्फिडेंस है हम में अब यार कि ठीक है तू सिखा दे, मैं तेरे से सीखने भी आया हूं, पर तू मुझसे भी सीख, मेरे पास भी बहुत कुछ है तेरे को सिखाने के लिए. I think these are very important for us, and this must come into our composition. This must come into our music. This pride, this. In fact, sometimes I say that there is a weird overlap between Indian Ocean and the, for lack of a better word, let me call it the RSS view of the world.
Absolutely. No, and I would add to that liberalization also.
Of course,
I think
of course.
That's a big factor in what you're talking about.
Yeah, because यार अब सब कुछ बाहर से नहीं आता है.
Correct.
हमारे जमाने में तो लोग साबुन साला लाते थे बाहर से. Dove. हा Dove.
नहीं, हमारे जमाने में भी मतलब कपड़े आते थे बाहर से, मतलब हम रुकते थे यार, कपड़े आएंगे, बैग आएगा, मतलब जैसे यहाँ पे कपड़ा नहीं बन सकता है. It was a different time.
I remember in 77 asking my dad to get me a pair of jeans. See, the Indian jeans at that time were not the kind of the denim which would bleed and acquire that look.
Yeah.
Somehow we were all fascinated by that look. Achha, listen, can I smoke on your thing?
Yeah, please. Please
Yeah.
smoke. One sec, you mind if I pause? I'll get a smoke also. I'll just pause the recording. One sec.
Okay.
Started.
Yeah, so I asked my dad to get those denims.
And
when they arrived, they were this dark blue pair of pants. So I said, what is this? I wanted that. So my dad laughed at me. He said, बेटा तू कुछ नहीं जानता है. ये वो होता है धीरे-धीरे, धो के होता है. So then I realized, अच्छा ये होता है. 77, 78 when I was 14, 15. All of that is gone.
Yeah.
We have everything. We have instant access to the latest films, to the latest music, to the latest everything. So that's not the cultural capital of the world anymore. We have access to everything. We can listen to West African music for 10 hours a day if we want.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, you should hear it. It is fantastic.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Africa is the motherland. In fact, I got some time to spend with Trilok sir, with Trilok Gurtu. And yeah, man, that's one thing I wanted to also speak to you about actually. So that guy has mastered one thing, man. It's to take our, rhythm languages and just apply it everywhere. Blanket, he can just apply it wherever he goes,
But man, that is what percussionists can do.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's
much easier, frankly. I'm sorry, but it's much easier for a percussionist. क्योंकि उसको नोट नहीं ढूंढना पड़ता ना यार.
Correct.
हम तो नोट भी ढूंढ रहे हैं.
No, I can only imagine what piano players have to go through.
Trilok ji, Zakir ji, they are the initiators. But now, like for example, there's Gyan Singh from Mrigya. Gyan goes and plays everywhere. Gyan Spain में show कर रहा है, Gyan Czechoslovakia में show कर रहा है, Scotland में show कर रहा है, playing with musicians from there.
Yeah.
And Sharat is also doing similar things, but Sharat is a classically trained violinist, so his ear is so good that he gets what they're doing immediately and he knows what he's doing. So, they can do it now. It's great. I mean, Trilok Bhutto is one of the inspirations for Indian musicians.
Absolutely. For any musicians, yeah. I mean, and
no, but I'm saying कि हम देखते हैं कि अपना बंदा कर रहा है ना यार.
बराबर है.
हाँ.
बराबर है. नहीं, और वो जो knowledge है वो इतना superior है, that's what I've been also talking to musicians and just getting everyone कि boss आओ कोनोकोल सीखो, मतलब it's something that we should have in our kitty, It's really something incredible.
अरे, when we were recording Tandanu, so we did one track with Selva. So Selva gave us a 2-hour master class in Korvai construction.
अरे lovely.
तो उसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि हम कोरवाई बना सकते हैं, पर एटलीस्ट हमको समझ तो आ रहा है वो कर क्या रहे हैं. And it's mind blowing, man.
Yeah, it's just
mind blowing.
And mathematics in action, no, it's so beautiful. It's just like
South Indian percussion is the basic level of training is so high.
Yeah,
it is amazing.
It really is.
It's amazing.
So, हम लोग, I mean, when we work with Goras and so on, we play with them. वो दिख के आ जाता है, you can see what that language can do to a musician, what it can do to a worldview, it's something really fascinating. But anyway, coming back to what you were saying about us and our cultural capital and how we are not subservient anymore.
Correct. But at the same time, here is the difference between, say, an Indian Ocean view and a right-winger's view.
Okay.
We both agree that there are great things in our culture. We both agree that these great things need to be retaught, maybe to a certain extent. And that we must be proud of it and we must show it to the world. But the difference starts when they say कि हम ही हैं, बाकी सब बकवास.
Of course, yeah.
And हम राम राज्य थे और अब नहीं है. यार ये राम राज्य किसके लिए था, कहाँ था, कब था? मान लो ना कि यार तब भी अच्छे लोग थे, बुरे लोग थे, अच्छे चीज थे, बुरे चीज थे. मंदिर में तब भी दलित को नहीं घुसने देते थे. ये अंग्रेजों ने नहीं करवाया, मुगलों ने नहीं करवाया, ये हमने अपने आप ही किया, अपने आप. हमारा कास्ट सिस्टम जैसा भी शुरू हुआ होगा has become an oppressive thing.
Absolutely.
And we need to stop that. And I like to look at nooks, like I like to sing Adivasi songs and take pride in that being a part of Indian culture just as much as राग है. वो भी है.
बिल्कुल. I'd like to add something to that though. Like for me personally, I believe Indian Renaissance जो है, it's the Bhakti movement in a lot of ways. This is something that comes up often, how do we deal with these caste issues and so on? Because that kind of pseudo-Marxist lens is not working. It's just creating more fissures because, I mean, it's not appropriate. It doesn't fit into the social dynamic.
Unfortunately, सब कुछ class. Everything is class.
So everything becomes class.
Combination of class and caste and gender and so many things that even, and for me, I'm an environmentalist, so hardcore Marxists for years ignored the environment.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you look at what the communist countries have done to their environment, it's a bloody disaster.
They've ruined it. I mean, the only communist communist country, China, I mean, we can see what they're doing with their industry and so on. So,
अरे रूस ने अपनी एनवायरनमेंट का जो बुरा किया था
Hmm.
ड्यूरिंग द कम्युनिस्ट इयर्स,
Yeah.
they made rivers run ulta. They dried up Baikal Lake and the Aral Sea by doing this stupidity. And forget it. I mean, so the new, but what I will say that what I appreciate about, say, the communist approach is the analysis. Follow the money, in other
Right.
words.
Yeah. Yeah.
कौन पैसा बनाता है और उसको बनाने के लिए उसको क्या करना पड़ता है
Hmm.
और उसके सोशल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस क्या है,
Hmm.
यहां तक मैं आई अप्रिशिएट मार्क्सिस्ट एनालिसिस, बट उसको हटाने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए
Absolutely.
वो मैं अग्रीमेंट में नहीं,
Yeah.
बट वो भी वो होगा ना यार, वो बेचारा मार्क्स साला 1800 समथिंग में लिख रहा है थियोरेटिकली,
और तुम आज उसको टॉप डाउन कर रहे हो वो
उसको ब्लाइंडली फॉलो, नहीं तो होपफुली द मोर इंटेलिजेंट वंस डोंट,
Hmm.
because you know all parties in India have to deal with the reality of caste.
It's true.
You might theoretically have any notion, but the reality is that caste equations still apply,
Yeah.
even in Kerala, you know,
Yeah.
or in definitely in Bengal.
Everywhere.
And so I think their praxis integrates caste, but their theory does not, and that is irritating to a lot of people like us who say, "Yaar, kya kar?"
Absolutely. No, in that respect, you know, like the Dalit Chamber of Commerce and the work they are doing in, and the sheer fact that wealth creation will ultimately emancipate these people. You know, apart from, of course, the social discourse and all, which will keep happening. But even way back to Ambedkar and all, it's all about that, right? You give them the means to live a better life, and they will live a better life. And those means lie also in wealth creation, not in redistribution or in some other, giving them sops or whatever it is. You know, those.
So I think those shops are a means to lead them to wealth creation.
But does it work?
कि
That's
जब
the
तुम्हारे
question.
पास एजुकेटेड लोग हर कास्ट के होंगे,
Hmm.
क्योंकि इंटेलिजेंस इज इक्वली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड.
Absolutely.
I mean, I look at, I'll tell you, we've had, you know, जैसे हर स्टूडियो में एक बॉय होता है, बॉय, young man, who
Yep.
takes care of everything. Yeah, the amount of brain these guys have and their natural intelligence is beautiful. It's just that they had the misfortune to be born in a rural area in a poor lower caste family. अगर वो मेरे जगह born होता, वो शायद मेरे से कहीं आगे पहुंच जाता. Opportunity नहीं है ना, opportunity provide करना है, and the barriers to that opportunity have to be slowly taken down. You
Yeah.
know, I know, एक दिन में नहीं होता है.
Of course.
तो वो continue work in progress.
Work in progress.
And the other thing,
Hmm.
I'll tell you something very, very interesting. When I was in the Narmada Andolan, so there was a man who had been 4 times selected as MP from Jhabua district, which is a tribal district.
Right.
तो दिलीप सिंह भूरिया. तो दिलीप सिंह भूरिया ने एक एक्टिविस्ट ने उनसे पूछा कि यार तुम तो करप्ट हो. तो दिलीप सिंह भूरिया ने कहा कि मैं इंसान नहीं हूं क्या? तू क्या सोचती है कि जस्ट बिकॉज आई एम आदिवासी, you don't say this to upper caste MPs. They are also corrupt, and they were also supposed to serve their people. And I am also corrupt, and I am also supposed to serve my people. But I am a human being. I suffer from the same things. Yes, you can ask me to highlight tribal concerns, and I will do it. But to expect that, therefore, just because I'm tribal, I will be the most honest and the most, this is your problem, not mine. Very interesting, I thought. You know, it's
Absolutely. This is fascinating. And that's why, for me personally, so I tend to lean towards freer markets in the sense that I believe that if you give people economic freedom, then the rest of the freedoms follow. I mean, they will follow. I mean, the magnitude to which you do it, how you control it, how you stop monopolies forming, and all is another matter. Uh, so that's why when we say crony capitalism, it's not actually crony capitalism because it's the state that's enabling the crony capitalism, right? Uh,
But crony capitalism always includes control of state.
exactly. So the less
Huh.
power the state has, the better it is for us to control the corruption and so on, right? Uh,
Yeah.
at least, I mean, as a basic principle, how that's to be achieved is another matter. But yeah, I wanted to know your views about this also, about since I mean the environment. Uh, how do we balance these two things out? Yeah, because there seems to be a head-to-head going on for a long time between uh, issues of the environment and how we are to create infrastructure and so on. वो कैसे tackle होगा?
यार देख, मैं एक चीज बता दूं आपको कि ये फॉल्स डाइकोटमी है।
बिल्कुल।
और दूसरी बात मैं बता दूं कि हमारे पास ना 30 इयर्स है। मैं मर जाऊं तुम लोगों को भुगतना पड़ेगा। मैं तो I tell all people in their 30s, don't have babies, don't have babies, don't have babies. You're giving them a world of shit because global climate change is going to turn. If देखो ना, हमने एक कोरोना वायरस के लिए 3 महीने तक दुनिया रोक दी। And a coronavirus is actually a blip in reality.
Yeah.
It's a small little blip. But climate change is going to change the entire paradigm. Agriculture will stop becoming a reliable thing. Agriculture has always been subject to बारिश और ये और insects और उसके ऊपर तुम ये ला रहे हो कि कभी भी गर्मी, कभी भी बारिश, कभी भी स्नो, कभी भी ये, कभी भी आंधी, कभी भी हेलस्टॉर्म, कुछ भी हो सकता है क्योंकि the extremes are going to increase and the reliability is going to decrease. So what will happen in India if agriculture becomes unsustainable as a livelihood? Even today, right, 50 to 60% of India still relies on agriculture as a means of livelihood, whether they are directly agriculturists or whether in the service sector or whatever.
Yeah.
क्या होगा पता है कि फार्मर सुसाइड तो आप देख ही रहे हो इतने साल से। Farmers will stop. And what will happen is what happened in the West. The corporates will take over farming.
Yeah.
And a corporate will own land in 7 to 10 or 15 different ecozones. So that some percentage of those ecozones have a quote unquote normal year and get a crop. An individual cannot do that.
Yeah.
So it is going to become corporate farming. Secondly, because of the unreliability, the production is going to drop. All this will change the world. And we need to look at this because for so long, this dichotomy, environment versus development, किया है ना इन लोगों ने आज। तो it's the false assumption that the Western model of development is the only and the correct model that has led us down this hole. Because that model is based on infinite growth, infinite increase in standards of living, regardless of mental well-being. And the validation of the self over the validation of the community. Individualization.
Yeah.
So every individual needs to have access to everything. I, as an American, must consume from all over the world, all through the year, everything, anything, nothing must be denied to me. ये क्या है? ये सस्टेनेबल नहीं है। ये मॉडल ऑफ डेवलपमेंट मत लो, क्योंकि ये मॉडल ऑफ डेवलपमेंट ही है जो हमें इस रैबिट होल में डाला कि सबके घर में सब कुछ होना चाहिए। Not sustainable.
Absolutely.
And even if you get infinite energy, let's say Tesla, hydrogen cell, जो पानी रिलीज करता है, CO2 रिलीज नहीं करता, तो एनर्जी भी रहेगी और ग्लोबल वार्मिंग भी नहीं होगा।
Right.
ये है ना अजम्पशन। बाकी का माल, बाकी मेटल्स, मिनरल्स जो आप कंज्यूम कर रहे हो, जो आप, ओके, यू स्टॉप बर्निंग ऑयल फॉर गाड़ी चलाना, बट यू आर स्टिल गोइंग टू मेक प्लास्टिक्स, उसका क्या होगा? तो ये फॉल्स डाइकोटमी है। सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट की तरफ अगर हम नहीं ध्यान देंगे तो ये चले जाएगा यार। वैसे ही आप देख रहे हो कि इंडिया में जंगल खत्म हो रहे हैं। यू नो द incidents of increased drought, as it is, they're predicting that your part of the country, the Deccan part, is going to go up in temperature to unsustainably high uh, things. How will people survive? AC लगाने से नहीं होगा।
Of course, AC लगाने से और बिगड़ेगा। Just fueling it.
हाँ, but वही है ना कि मेरे घर में भी AC है। तो जब मेरे को तो लोग कहते हैं तू तो कह रहा है, तू तो लगा रहा है, मैंने कहा हाँ, दिस इज ट्रू, आई एग्री। If I were to 100, it is, I have realized that I cannot 100% practice.
Of course.
That there is a dichotomy. I have a car. I contribute to global warming. You know, as an Indian who is now, I am upper middle class. I will tell you. I started on middle class and I am now upper middle class. I probably consume more than 100 times what the poorest Indian consumes.
Yeah.
Okay. My consumption is still less than what an average American consumes.
Oh, yeah. Exponentially less.
So the average American consumes 240 times what the average Indian consumes. तो मैं मानता हूं कि हमारे भी ऊपर नीचे हैं और मैं भी उस हायर कंज्यूमिंग इंडियंस में से हूं, पर एटलीस्ट मेरे दिमाग में तो है यार, मैं जैसे अभी एसी बंद है, रात को चलेगा ताकि मैं सो पाऊं, तो 4 घंटे चला के बंद कर दूंगा। मैं गाड़ी मिनिमाइज करता हूं, मैं पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट, दिल्ली में मेट्रो है, थैंक गॉड, मैं मेट्रो जितना इस्तेमाल कर सकता हूं करता हूं, पर तब भी अमीर हूं तो चीजें कंज्यूम करूंगा। जैसे मैं आपको बता रहा था ना, पिज्जा खा रहे थे हम, पिज्जा
अरे तो नहीं, बट वही है
कि internal contradictions will remain.
वो तो रहेगा ही। वो मेरा एक वो दिमाग में बैठ ही गया है कि we are all hypocrites now. The degrees are what we are dealing with. So let's try to minimize it as far as possible. वही गेम है। नहीं, but फिर how? Because see, everyone wants upper mobility. आप जब किसी गरीब से भी बात करो, उसको better standard of living तो चाहिए ही। वो किस extent तक जाएगा, वो सब questions. How do we then try to get a collective consciousness, you know, so that we can deal with it properly? Because otherwise it's going to be
correct. So what pushes you towards so-called upward mobility? Okay, partly it is media, things that are worth owning, things that you need to own. America is the ultimate of it. America में ना, I was at a rich kids university. Okay, मैं तो स्कॉलरशिप पे था, पर जो अंडरग्रेड्स थे उनके फीस बहुत हाई थे यार। they used to change their entire wardrobe every season. Fall clothes,
yeah,
the new winter line, the new spring line, the new summer clothes, and they would buy and they would dump their clothes in the bloody garbage, man. So actually the Salvation Army store, where you can go and dump your clothes and then they wash it and dry clean it and sell it, is where I used to buy all my stuff, because it was perfectly good stuff, just thrown away by some rich kid who wanted something else, you know. So my winter boots, my winter jacket, my clothes, everything used to come at 1/10 of the cost from Salvation Army, because these guys are into this consumption thing. So that is about mobility, but that is a completely foolish, meaningless thing in order to sustain this myth that infinite growth is possible.
Yeah.
We have to first stop. जैसे भूटान ने कहा कि हम ग्रॉस नेशनल हैप्पीनेस मेजर करेंगे, हम ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट नहीं मेजर करेंगे.
right.
Are people happy, and what makes people happy? And because you know the assumption is that consuming makes you happy.
Hmm.
Does it?
I mean, it would
मतलब
give you
तुम्हें
a
लगता है,
sense of believing that you're happy in a way.
yeah. In fact, I find that when I was way poorer 25 years ago, I was happy. I'm not happier now. I have more wealth. खास करके वो जो मैं आदिवासी गांव में रहा हूं ना यार, कुछ भी नहीं था उनके पास यार, कुछ भी नहीं था, और उनकी जमीन चले जाने वाली थी, डूबने वाली थी. Their livelihood was going to be taken. But they would dance all night and drink all night, and
Yeah.
like I've never seen a kid getting beaten in those villages. बच्चों को मारते नहीं है यार, क्या गजब की चीज है ना. Beautiful.
It is.
So there are other things to happiness than material.
Absolutely.
And I think if the system starts moving towards that and away from this, but it can't because it's all predicated on infinite growth.
Yeah.
इकोनॉमी कैसे चलेगी? अगर मेरे को एक्चुअली बुरा नहीं लग रहा कि हमारी इकोनॉमी नीचे जा रही है, कंज्यूम हम कम कर रहे हैं, मगर बाय डिजाइन नहीं, बाय डिजाइन करो ना यार कि तुम चलाए रखो, बट फार्मर्स को बेटर प्राइस दो, उनकी स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग इंप्रूव करो. अगर तुम the link between say forest and water availability is so clear,
Yeah.
that only a fool would deny that, so focus on those things. Yeah.
Hey, but that reminds me of something you mentioned earlier. 50 to 60% of our population is directly or indirectly in agriculture. And the way things stand now, contributing say 12 to 15% of GDP, around that figure, you can't help but not sustain it now, because lot of the farmers, a bulk of the farmers are landless laborers, or people who are in the pits basically. So that's a big one ना, कि उनको कैसे आप निकालोगे उस पेट में से, unless you move them to manufacturing or whatever it is.
But वही मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, जो पुराना वैसे ही इंडिया ने उसको छोड़ दिया. पुराना क्या था, वेस्टर्न क्या था, एग्रीकल्चर से इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन होगा, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में जाएंगे, फिर सर्विस सेक्टर आएगा, ए बी सी. हमारा बी जो है ना, द इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन फेज एसेंशियली स्किप हो गया. कि जितना एग्रीकल्चर देता है उतना इंडस्ट्री देता है, सारा सर्विस हो गया. 70% ऑफ योर जीडीपी इज नाउ सर्विस सेक्टर. ठीक है. एंड दिस इज ट्रू फॉर रूरल एरियाज एज वेल एज अर्बन एरियाज.
एब्सोल्युटली.
ठीक है. तो हमने वो स्किप कर दिया, तो हम क्यों कह रहे हैं कि दे मस्ट गो इनटू मैन्युफैक्चर? क्योंकि मैन्युफैक्चर के हमारे पास, even the Chinese have not managed. Yes, the Chinese have ramped up everything and they're producing lots, but if you look at their percentage population in this and that, वो हमारी तरह ही है.
Of course. नहीं, और हमारे में तो दिखता है ना, वहाँ पे तो दिखता भी नहीं है.
यार अंग्रेजों ने तो इंडस्ट्रियलाइज किया हमारे कंधे पे ना यार.
बिल्कुल.
हमको लूट के, हमको बेच के उन्होंने किया.
Absolutely.
हम किसको लूटें?
सही बात है ना, खुद को ही लूटना पड़ेगा.
अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम इंटरनल कॉलोनाइजेशन करते हैं.
हाँ.
हम अपने जंगल आदिवासी जो उनको लूटते हैं.
बिल्कुल.
It is no coincidence that the Naxal movement and the forested part of India by and large overlap.
Yeah.
Because they have been looted. They are seen as an inconvenience that needs to be pushed aside in order to develop. तो वहां पे कोई आके कहता है कि देखो आपको लूटा जा रहा है, वो तो बोलेंगे हाँ लूटा जा रहा है. तो मैं मानता नहीं हूँ नक्सल फिलॉसफी, और मैं समझ सकता हूँ कि क्यों उन एरियाज में चलता है. क्योंकि तुमने किया ही नहीं कुछ उनके लिए. करते फिर बताओ.
करेक्ट. नहीं, और ऑल्सो यूरोप और जो अमेरिका है, they developed at a time when these ideas didn't exist. No, there was no conscious human rights. There was no all of this. They could smash anybody and develop, and then once they develop, then they can talk about all rosy ideas under the sun, freedom and this and that and falana dhimkana. वो कैसे टैकल करना है बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन है. I'm very concerned about that, how do we move
हाँ, वो
forward from
इस
here?
वक्त पे सॉल्व नहीं हो.
Yeah, the best you can do is laugh at it.
What is interesting is that people need to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Because so often we just brush it under the carpet. We don't want to think about it because it is terrifying.
Yeah.
We don't want to think about it because it is inconvenient and it causes unsettlement of our established beliefs. So I think questioning, etc., is very good, and we need to have discussions amongst everybody.
Yeah.
All thinking people need to get into this and to take knowledge from wherever you can get knowledge. मतलब मैं कितना सीखा हूँ यार वहां पे जंगलों में और खेतों में, जो मेरे को किसी स्कूल कॉलेज में साला पीएचडी है मेरे पास, और वहां से भी मैं कितना सारा सीख पाया. And we should never stop learning. I mean, it's whether in music or in.
Absolutely, yeah. Seconded, wholesale seconded. And अभी actually year before last, मैं गया था वहाँ पे चोरल डैम के पास अपना एमपी में. These guys, यूनिसेफ का एक यूनिवर्सल बेसिक इनकम का स्कीम चल रहा था वहाँ पे, तो we had gone to document it. तो वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग यार, वो लोग को 200 रुपया दे रहे हैं महीने का ट्राइबल्स को. And what they've done is gone and created a communal fishery scheme. They've kind of invigorated the pond. Fisheries कर रहे हैं, self-sustaining हो रहा है, because what was happening is all those kids were going and working in the chips factories over there around Indore side पे. And it's beautiful to see. 200 रुपया क्या है? You don't even get a packet of cigarettes today for $200. ये लोग अपना पूरा जिंदगी उस 200 रुपये में बना लिया उन्होंने. मतलब there's something to learn, there's something to apply.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, I mean, this thing of minimum income guarantee is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
कि यार, I'm okay with direct cash transfer, trying to cut through the corruption that is endemic to our, public distribution system.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. I think it needed to have been introduced more gradually. This whole thing of कि अंगूठा मार के तुम्हें राशन मिलेगा, क्योंकि साला डिजिटली नहीं है यार, बिजली नहीं रहती, तुम साला क्या अंगूठा दिखा के वो करो. There has to be some backup system.
बिल्कुल.
Gradually implement होगा, पर तब तक मैंडेटरी मत करो. थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है, क्योंकि तो वो बेचारा 6 बार जाएगा यार राशन की दुकान. क्यों?
बिल्कुल.
तुम्हारे शॉर्टकमिंग के लिए उसका टाइम, for your shortcoming, his time is taken for granted. So good idea, but implement in phases gradually. Make sure you digitize, make sure you lay those lines, make sure you do that. Get the electricity, get these things working, and then why can't you do it on the phone? Okay, skip the electricity lines. Get the bloody towers working, right?
Yeah.
So that this can be done on the phone. फोन ऑथेंटिकेशन होता है यार. हम लोग कितने सारे पेमेंट फोन ऑथेंटिकेशन क्यों नहीं हो सकता राशन की दुकान?
बिल्कुल हो सकता है.
हो सकता है. अब पता नहीं.
दिस गवर्नमेंट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में बहुत गोची कर लिया ये लोग ने काफी जगहों पे. आइडियाज तो है ही, ग्रैंडियोस आइडियाज आर गुड, बट या व्हाट यू सेइंग इज राइट.
यार पता होता क्या है कि फिर भक्त लोग कहते हैं आइडिया अच्छा था, जनता ने खराब कर दिया. अबे साले, जब 10वीं बार यही चीज सुन रहा हूं तब मैं कहता हूँ यार आइडिया करना छोड़ दे, इम्प्लीमेंट कर. एक चीज को तो पकड़ के ठीक से इम्प्लीमेंट कर.
करेक्ट. नहीं, सही बात है. even the tax reforms, labor reforms, all of this essential stuff, but then too many cogs in the wheel, and they don't think of things properly. पता नहीं अभी क्या समाधान क्या है.
No, the thing is that you have such a massive majority in parliament.
Yeah.
That you can actually do stuff.
Yeah.
But you end up doing, vote bank stuff. which is not long term helping anybody.
Yeah.
मैंने टॉयलेट्स बनवा दिए सबके वहां, साला पीने का पानी का पैसा डालना बंद कर दिया। अबे पीने का पानी नहीं है, वो टॉयलेट क्या जाएगा, तो खेत में ही जाएगा ना यार, क्योंकि आई कांट फ्लश द डैम थिंग।
Yeah.
So great idea again that, you know, because I've been shamed by my foreign friends who say, you know, what is this?
Yeah.
They said we have seen this nowhere else in the world. सेंट्रल अमेरिका में नहीं होता है, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में नहीं होता है, तुम्हारी साला देश अभी भी। और फिर वो जाके झूठ बोलना कि ओपन डेफिकेशन फ्री हो गया कंट्री। अबे पागल है। एज वरुण सेज ब्यूटीफुली कि सोनू ने मोनू को ट्रैक्स के पास हगते हुए बोला, ओ यार सुन, इंडिया ओपन डेफिकेशन फ्री हो गया।
अरे इतने कॉन्ट्रडिक्शंस, मतलब क्या बोले, अभी बोले तो क्या बोले इन हिज ओन वर्ड्स, बिकॉज़ या ही इज गॉट अ ट्रिमेंडस मेजॉरिटी एंड एक तो इशू है हमारे देश में कि कुछ नहीं होता है वोट बैंक के बिना, मतलब कोई भी आओ कोई भी जाओ, इट्स अ कंटिन्यूइंग
वो तो
प्रोसेस।
हर देश में ट्रू है ना यार, दैट इज ट्रू इन एवरी कंट्री।
नहीं वो हियर especially because vote banks are so entrenched now, like I don't think there's any country in the world where there are so many fault lines that are exploited day in and day out, you know, so
Like I tell people that we discriminate on every possible axis.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
हाँ?
मास्टर
कभी लैंग्वेज पे राइट हो रहा है, कभी धर्म पे राइट हो रहा है, कभी कास्ट पे राइट हो रहा है, कभी यार क्या है यार।
तमाशा है अपना देश, मतलब it's good for writing songs and writing books ना at least, तो we'll be entertained. तो क्या होता है, I mean I would like to see it as not so grim, you know, कि कुछ तो हो रहा है, मतलब it's moving in some direction.
But it's not grim ना यार, 1947 में इंडिया जो था और
नहीं वो तो है, वो तो
जमीन आसमान का फर्क है यार।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
And you know this thing of that nothing happened for 70 years, क्या क्यों?
नहीं that is all posturing,
गवाह बना रहे हो, बराबर
है,
पोस्चरिंग है। और 70 इयर्स तो एक्चुअली 2017 में खत्म हुए। ये झूठ भी लोग मान लेते हैं। That's the thing, that if you say a lie often enough it becomes a truth.
Absolutely. नहीं, and I see that happening everywhere. मतलब आप कोई भी कैंप के हो, right winger, left winger, first of all these words have stopped meaning anything to me, because क्या right wing यार, तुम right wing हो, तुम्हारा इकोनॉमिक्स तो हमेशा लेफ्ट विंग ही रहेगा इंडिया में, तो क्या मतलब झगड़ा तो फॉल्स झगड़ा चल रहा है ना, सब लोग फॉल्स गॉड पकड़ के लड़ रहे हैं एक दूसरे के साथ, लड़ो, अच्छी बात है।
नहीं तो वो डेफिनेशन बदलो ना, राइट विंग और लेफ्ट विंग। अब राइट विंग और लेफ्ट विंग का डेफिनेशन इज नॉट जस्ट इकोनॉमिक,
या इट्स नॉट, बट इट्स नॉट सोशल आइदर, राइट? आई मीन
it's a combination.
Yeah, it's some sort of weird amalgam, because like for example a lot of people call themselves liberal, right? Now most of them are not very liberal people, because you know, I'm looking at classical liberalism as the liberalism, you know, ki, if you're liberal, all views are the same in front of you and then you will dissect the best view, right? That's the whole point. But then it's become a slot, everything has become a slot. So अभी क्या बोले अभी, that's why I want to talk to guys like you who have points of view, you know, and kind of try to distill it and get to some solution somewhere down the line.
और एटलीस्ट अपने दिमाग में तो कुछ क्लैरिटी आए।
बिल्कुल, हाँ, अपने दिमाग के लिए बॉस, दुनिया बदलने निकले तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा अपने को खुद के दिमाग में। Yeah man, but yeah, नहीं, very fascinating discussion है, I had a great time talking to you. Is there anything? अब आप बताइए
यार। देख ऐसा है कि मेरे घर में ना लॉकडाउन से 2 दिन पहले पियानो वापस आया।
अरे वाह।
4 साल से वो पियानो बेचारा, उसका साउंड बोर्ड क्रैक हो गया था, तो वो ट्यून ही नहीं होता था। Magically after I think 10 months it came back.
Fantastic.
And it's a like a 80 to 100-year-old German upright
Beautiful.
with a glorious sound. And I'm not a keyboard player, right? I'm not a piano player. So I have spent the time trying to. It's very difficult. This left hand, right hand.
Yeah.
player है तो दोनों हाथ एक ही चीज कर रहा है ना यार.
ये mental
Ultimately, your
gymnastics
aim
है
to-
वो.
हाँ,
It's
वहाँ
yeah.
पर कर रहा है गाना तुम कुछ और गा रहे हो. अरे बाबा.
Yeah, it's another game, huh? बाप रे. अरे and I don't know यार वो लोग दो clef पढ़ के दो हाथ से कैसे बजाते हैं? It's some sorcery.
It's a lot of training. It's a lot of
Yeah.
training and a lot of practice. But उसमें भी एक problem. उसमें प्रॉब्लम ये है कि वो लोग बिना शीट के कुछ नहीं बजा सकते.
हाँ वो अपाहिज रहते हैं, बिल्कुल अपाहिज रहते हैं.
कि इफ यू से देम अरे छोड़ ना शीट यार जैम करते हैं. Jam?
Yeah.
So it's only people like Keith Jarrett who moved from classical into like a jazzy thing.
Yeah.
Who were able to overcome. तो जैसे हम अपने हिंदुस्तानी क्लासिकल के बारे में कहते हैं कि तुमको अपनी दीवारें तोड़नी पड़ेंगी. उनको भी अपनी दीवारें तोड़नी पड़ती.
बिल्कुल नहीं, और इम्प्रोवाइजेशन
But
के
it's a-
चक्कर में तो our हिंदुस्तानी
it's a-
scene is very it's up there. It's really figured it out.
No, but you know, so they're jazz guys because they get trained in reading the clef early on.
Yeah.
They can do both. So one of our new songs coming out has a collaboration with this guy called George Brooks,
Okay.
who's a saxophone player from California.
I know.
He's been
George
playing
Brooks.
with Zakir Hussain Saab for 20 years.
Yeah.
ये बंदा ट्रेंड है जैज में और हिंदुस्तानी और कर्नाटिक भी जानता है यार. तो क्या औसम चीजें होती हैं. बहुत मजा आता
I can imagine. Yeah. कब निकल रहा है?
है यार. अब हमारे ना 6-7 गाने रिकॉर्ड हो चुके हैं.
अच्छा.
तो वो एक हमने निकाला था अभी अप्रैल में. This version of this Nusrat song.
I heard it with the Berkeley ensemble. No? नहीं, जीनी था वो. हाँ, correct.
जीनी तो
हाँ.
2 साल पहले रिकॉर्ड किया था हमने उनके साथ.
अच्छा, okay.
But हाँ. अखियां उड़ी दिया is our take off on just that line from that song, which is not an original Nusrat composition either. It's composed by somebody else. So that was the first release, and then we have other songs which we are going to release bit by bit. But what we have realized is that a video helps.
Yeah.
So the lockdown kind of came bang in the middle of our being able to just stitch together a video behind the already recorded, mixed and mastered songs. तो अब वो धीरे-धीरे उस पे काम कर रहे हैं.
Nice.
So we have decided to release singles.
Makes sense.
क्योंकि एल्बम अब एक तो एल्बम कोई खरीदता नहीं है. फिजिकल सेल्स तो है नहीं. दूसरा एल्बम तक वेट करूंगा मैं. और तीसरा जब हो जाएंगी इनफ सिंगल्स उसको एक एल्बम में डाल के एक नाम दे दूंगा ना उसको.
Correct.
एल्बम तो अपने ईगो के लिए होता है फ्रैंकली.
Absolutely.
यार मैंने इतने एल्बम निकाले. ठीक है. Sounds better than यार मैंने इतने सिंगल्स निकाले.
Yeah. And there was a zamana when one would buy a cassette or a LP or whatever and listen. रगड़ के सुनते थे ना. I remember कंदी साहब 1-1 रुपया जोड़ के खरीदा था मैंने. और I listened to it till I got sick of it because I didn't have money to buy another album. It was that simple.
Yeah. And I remember 65 रुपए का CD का कैसेट निकला था.
Yeah, वो टाइम में 2000 था ना वो. Was
2000. Yeah.
2000, हाँ. Yeah, I remember that album very clearly.
So I've been trying to improve left hand, and then sometimes I just go in and say कि यार ये वाला गाना बड़े दिनों से नहीं बजाया करके. Figure out the chords. I mean, I try and figure out the chord before I go to the internet to check out the true chords. So, and then you play the simplified version. Like that day I was playing Piano Man.
Acha, oh lovely.
And it's 4 chords.
Yeah.
right? With one descent, one, it's just like कुछ भी नहीं है. A F sharp minor D E यही है
Yeah.
एक्चुअली गाने में. मगर अगर आप
उसके
बिली जोएल का
कीड़े
स्कोर देखोगे उसमें बहुत कुछ ऐड किया है उसने.
बराबर.
तो ही इज द मास्टर.
अरे बिली जोएल इज समथिंग.
His old albums now are so much more jazz influenced. I think it changed with this one.
We didn't
अरे
start the fire के बाद वाला
Glass
phase.
Houses. Glass Houses
Glass
में he
Houses,
went
हाँ.
rock, and then he went popish. That.
Yeah, yeah. अरे his
We
older
Didn't Start the
stuff.
Fire में क्या है यार?
Hmm.
We Didn't Start the Fire. It's a lyrically. See,
Yeah, yeah.
it's such a
brilliant.
song that it teaches you about recent American history
Yeah.
in a fun, funky way. I really wish we could have an equivalent.
Oh, there is. In fact, these guys bought the rights and made a version. You should check it out if you haven't. Mulayam Singh Yadav का 2014 का campaign song था.
अरे छोड़ो ना, उन्होंने हमें कहा था ये तो.
और गाने का नाम है मन से है मुलायम. Classic stuff. God.
But the hardcore Bollywood से मैं दूर रहूं. नहीं होता मुझसे. The groups, the Godfathers.
Oh yeah.
इसके साथ काम नहीं करना, उसके साथ काम नहीं करना, भाई बोलेगा किसके साथ काम करना है.
It's too much.
ये सब नहीं होता. Luckily, everybody who comes to us for our music. They don't come to us saying item number बना दे, क्योंकि वो भी जानते हैं और हम भी जानते हैं कि हमसे बनेगा नहीं.
बिल्कुल.
वो भी एक सीख मिली है. I have learned along the line that there is a skill to every single different aspect and everybody can't do everything. I mean, I find Rahman the closest. कि जो वो पिया हाजी अली, पप्पू कांट डांस साला और कभी कभी आदिति 6 महीने के अंदर निकाल सकता है. कितने अलग स्टाइल ऑफ गाने हैं. वो आदमी है, उसको सल्यूट करता हूं मैं.
बिल्कुल.
मगर मेरे से नहीं होगा. No, I don't even want to do it. It's not easy to make music like Daler Mehndi.
Of course not.
It's not. It's a different set of skills. I mean, I can't do a divine. I cannot rap. It's a different set of skills. I can do what I can do and push the envelope a little bit here and there.
Oh, a lot, I would say.
मेरे को नहीं करना है. हाँ, मेरे को कुछ करना है. इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है. भाई एक ही तो जिंदगी है. कितना कुछ कर लोगे.
नहीं सर, अरे इंडियन ओशन ने जो कर लिया वो कर लिया. It's an epoch making moment, I think, in our musical journey. I mean, as a
somebody posted in Ocean, this young guy. He wrote a piece in some online magazine about what Indian Ocean meant to him when he was a student who had come from a small town to an engineering college in a big town, and how he felt intimidated and not quite sure of who he was and losing his sense of identity, and how Indian Ocean helped him to give himself validation. And then when he saw that, यार ये शहर वाले भी यही सुन रहे जो मैं सुन रहा हूँ यार. So common ground वहाँ से आया, confidence वहाँ से आया.
That's beautiful.
So that's beautiful. I mean, that was just like, I immediately wrote to this guy saying, please, can I post it on our page? Because, people keep asking us, कि 30 साल हो गए, लोग अभी भी आपको क्यों सुनते हैं? अब मैं क्या जवाब दूं? मैं तो कहता हूँ, सर म्यूजिक अच्छा है इसलिए सुनते हैं. So this guy gives a different set of things, which I cannot give because I haven't been on the experiencing side of it. I've been on the making side. And without conscious,
of course, yeah,
it was not something we set out to do. It happened. It's a product of the times. And I think that's important. Indian Ocean may not have happened in the 50s.
of course.
So everything has its time and its place, and it does not happen independently of what has gone before. So there is no huge thing. तो आइंस्टाइन भी किसी और के कंधे पे ही चढ़ के उसने निकाला है अपना मामला.
बिल्कुल.
तो बोला फोटो इलेक्ट्रिक इफेक्ट से शुरू हुआ है. रिलेटिविटी तो बाद में. एवरीबॉडी थिंक्स आइंस्टाइन इज रिलेटिविटी. नो, इट्स अ फोटो इलेक्ट्रिक इफेक्ट. 1904 में उसने वो पेपर निकाला और उससे पूरा एक फोटोन what the hell is going on करके पूरा मामला. But at the same time there were all these brilliant minds working in quantum mechanics. They all came together because of the limitations of Newtonian mechanics, and this paradigm shift happened.
Yeah.
None of them, Schrodinger ले लो, Heisenberg ले लो, Dirac ले लो, Einstein ले लो, वो सब ने एक साथ exchange of ideas, facing the same constraints, facing the same problems. These things happen. You know, it's like those famous, the Trinity of South Indian classical music.
Mm.
How did they all arise around Madurai, at the same time? It was, as to use a Shashi Tharoorish phrase, a certain concatenation of peculiar events.
Yeah, man, the milieu, no? It's just, and what you said is a very, very interesting thing about, the great equalizer, Indian Ocean being like a great equalizer in that sense. And in that post-liberalization phase where people were genuinely getting out there, fascinating, really fascinating.
Yeah, in fact, so a friend of mine who was an activist with the Narmada Andolan, like me, had gone there sometime in 2003, 2004, and he came back and said, "Abey, अब तो वहां पे तुम्हारा वाला रीमिक्स मारे हुआ चल रहा है."
Are really wonderful, yaar. Really wonderful.
I was so pleased. I said, "Wow, man."
Absolutely, and it's so fresh, na. कल भी मैं, a friend of mine had come over and I was like, कल मैं राहुल राम से बात कर रहा हूँ, चलो Indian Ocean सुनते हैं, बहुत दिन हो गए. And instantly she started singing, yeah, because it draws you because there are memories of your childhood attached to it. There's all sorts of stuff attached to it. Na? So, it's a very profound thing for a lot of us, who did grow up with it. So,
all I can say is thank you.
Sorry, thank you. Don't thank me. And personally, as a bass player also, I mean, your bass playing has affected me in more ways than I can know also. क्योंकि वो subconsciously क्या-क्या किया है मेरे साथ मेरे को पता भी नहीं है. तो
हाँ, पर मैं तेरे को एक चीज बताऊं, मैं टेक्निकली बहुत ही घटिया बेस प्लेयर. टेक्निकली अगर आप देखोगे ना, अगर आप कार्ल पीटर्स को लोगे,
नहीं, of course वो तो अलग ही space है ना. I mean,
they are a different class of bassists.
Of course.
And I don't have those techniques.
But what I think is,
I have my own way of doing things.
No, I think you for me personally, like I've come to this conclusion. It's not a conclusion really. That bass playing is ultimately a state of mind in terms of composition, right? It's not about techniques. It's not about all of that. Of course, you need that in order to say what you want to say. But it's not about the grammar. It's about the language in a sense. So
I'll tell you one of the biggest compliments I ever received. I'm going to tell you this. It's my show-off moment. So we had gone to play a show in New Orleans in 2009. And there was this guy who was shooting the show, and he was a black guy. And he was talking to us after the show, and he was saying, "Man, I loved your bass playing." And I said, for a guy who's coming from Victor Wooten's town, that's a big thing. Thank you so much. He said, "Man, Wooten would have loved your bass playing because it's different from what he does." I was like, oh.
Oh man, but I agree with the guy. I really agree with the guy. It's something very, very unique that I don't think existed before you. So in that sense, you are a giant of the bass playing world, at least to us. But yeah.
And now it's interesting how Indian Ocean, the sound has changed after Oshim died and Treatment left. So now we have a guitar player who grew up like you listening to Shushmit. I have no idea how old you are. How old are you?
I was born in 91, so I'm quite young.
91, okay. So this guy is also born 85 or so, Nikhil Rao. And so he grew up listening to Indian Ocean and he loved playing Shushmit's lines. And he had come over to jam with us once, way back. And when the time came that we knew Shushmit was going to leave, we were looking for a guitar player. And Amit Khilam said, यार वो लड़का, क्योंकि उस लड़के ने उस दिन सुष्मित की तरह तो बजाया मगर उसके पास बहुत कुछ और भी चीजें हैं तो वो अपना सोचता है और हमारे में हमेशा इंडियन ओशन में ये था कि जो नया बंदा आएगा जैसे जब ओशिम डाइड हिमांशु एंड तुइन केम इन we said look you have to learn some basic songs but you do not have to copy because A you cannot be Oshim. B, if we make you copy, we destroy you as a thinking, intellectual musician. We don't want that because you will have to grow with us. And if you have to grow, just copying will get you nowhere. So it's interesting now how the sound is different. How I think, for example, the Tandanu album could probably have not been done with the old Indian Ocean line. It's a everything moves in strange ways, unpredictable ways. Tandanu, I couldn't even have thought of Tandanu. It happened. And it was an incredible experience. Yeah, these greats, huh? आप सोचो, विश्वमोहन भट्ट आ रहे हैं, शुभा मुद्गल आ रही है, कुमरेश आ रहा है, हाँ? वायलिन प्लेयर, सेल्वा गणेश आ रहा है, और फिर शंकर महादेवन आ रहा है. मतलब और इन सब लोगों ने जो हमसे टेक्निकली बहुत ज्यादा एडवांस्ड है, उन्होंने हमारे साथ जैम किया, हमें परखा, हमारी कैपेबिलिटीज को परखा और हमारी कैपेबिलिटीज उनके साथ कितना मैच करती है उसको दिमाग में रखते हुए हम लोगों ने साथ कंपोज किया है. तो इमेजिन द ग्रेटनेस ऑफ दोस गाइज माइंड्स एंड देयर जेनरोसिटी, to say that these guys are not my technical stature but they have something which is fun, so let me do something with them. And so I think that's like a brilliant album. It is. We guys learned so, it was a magical 3 months. That December, January, February of 2013-14. Oh man, we were working our ass off every single day. And for the Tandanu album, we actually recorded the end of the jam कि ये होगा. And then we went back and बारिंग की हमने बार बाय बार क्योंकि वो बंदे तो 2 महीने बाद आएंगे ना रिकॉर्डिंग स्टूडियो में, तो स्पेसेस और कुछ जगह हमने एक्स छोड़ा हुआ था कि भाई ये कितना लंबा बजाएंगे पंडित जी हमको नहीं मालूम, उसको छोड़ दो, पर वो जहां जाएगा उसका एंड होगा एक. और पंडित विश्वमोहन भट्ट ने आके गुगली फेंक दी स्टूडियो में, कहते यार मैं मेट्रोनोम पे नहीं बजाता यार ये, and he's right. क्योंकि क्लासिकल में तो जब तुम रेस करते हो, तुम कितने से रेस करते हो और कब रेस करते हो तुम्हारे दिमाग में, मेट्रोनोम पे नहीं हो सकता, प्रोग्राम्ड उस पे नहीं हो सकता है. So we've played that live. So we kept it a metronome for the first part, which is a fixed part. And once he takes over, there was no metronome. तो उनके साथ में बजाया. When he has been satisfied with what he has done, then we have gone back and replayed our parts over what he has done. And man, playing bass too, oh God, what a challenge, man. कि पंडित जी झाला बजा रहे हैं, उसके पीछे तुम्हें बेसलाइन बजाना है. And like I said, there are no chords.
And no metronome now.
So you have to seek to hit those notes which go with यहाँ पे ला साला कोमल गा, या यहाँ पे ला, उस कोमल धा को यहाँ पे ला, क्योंकि यहाँ पे शिफ्ट होता है और उससे पूरा बैंड का वो बढ़ जाता है. And oh, It was such a challenge and it was so much fun.
Man.
And then Vishal Dadlani, एक अलग मुझे एक आदमी 2 दिन में कर दिया उसने यार. Vishal didn't have time, so he didn't come. We actually jammed with him in Bombay. जो True School of Music है ना, वहाँ पे jam किया हमने उसके साथ.
अच्छा.
And we had made a thing, and we told him that this is what the song is about. He said, "अरे, ये तो interesting यार. मैं अपने कुछ I can add lyrics." I said, "Yeah, of course." So then he wrote in Sindhi for the first time in his life about being displaced. Because the song is about displacement. So, you know, it begins with the Narmada Valley song. It goes to the Sindhis, because he said, हम तो सारे displaced हैं यार, जो इंडिया में सारे सिंधी लोग हैं. And then it ends up with the Kashmiri, because Amit Killa with the Kashmiri Pandit who's been displaced. तो पूरा डिस्प्लेसमेंट के थीम पे मेंटली एक गाना बनाया जिसमें 4 भाषाएं जो दुनिया में एक भी आदमी नहीं वो चारों भाषा बोल सकता है. 5 भाषा एक्चुअली, funnily enough. Because there is a line in Hindi also in between, and there is a line in Pashto.
Oh.
वो गर फिरदौस.
अरे
वो जो जहांगीर का फेमस है ना कश्मीर के बारे में लाइन. So if there is a heaven on earth, it is here, it is here. हबी नस्तो, हबी नस्तो. तो वो भी लाइन आता है to as a kind of moving from the Sindhi to the Kashmiri, we use that line. It was like a complete mind blasting, as they say.
It's a beautiful album, yaar. It's and you're right. It's a totally fresh sound. मतलब कुछ अलग ही चल रहा है वहाँ पे. And all these people just coming together, fantastic, beautiful.
Yeah. But the thing is that उसके बाद then we said enough. Because you see, I'll tell you, it was the first Indian Ocean album after Shushmit left. If you don't count Masan. But Masan was afterwards. So, उस album में आपने collaborate किया. अब आपको दिखाना है कि बिना collaboration, the question may arise that is now Indian Ocean only capable of creating with other people.
Right.
तुम्हारे अपने अंदर क्या है? तो अब जो नए गाने हैं उसमें 2 कोलैब्स हैं क्योंकि यार जॉर्ज ब्रुक्स इज जॉर्ज एंड देन पंडित जी ये अपने विक्कू जी Selva's father, you know, we went to hear him at some concert because Kumar Aishat said, "Hey, I'm playing, man, come and hear me." So we went, and backstage we went to meet him. So there we met George Brooks and we met Pandit Vikku ji.
Very lovely.
तो विक्कू जी के पैर पे हम लोग बैठे हुए थे, अमित और मैं. And he says, "You have played with my son. When are you going to play with me?" He said, "Arey, Pandit ji, you're joking, appa." He said, "I am not joking." He said, "Okay." So he called Selva. "Selva, appa is saying this." "Huh, okay, I will fix it. Don't worry." So then, you know, Vikku ji ke saath collaboration.
Man.
And you know, I mean, look at it, the living legend के साथ collaboration. तो हमने कहा ठीक है, अपनी ईगो छोड़ो, साइड पर रखो. बनाओगे तुम अपने गाने, बनाओगे, दिखा दोगे दुनिया को कि तुम बना सकते हो, बनाते रहो. पर ये एक चांस है जो आप मिस नहीं कर सकते.
This is going to be some fascinating stuff to listen to.
Yeah, man. It's quite something. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
So on this note, let us end.
Let's end. Thanks a lot again, for
yeah, because Keshav, I can talk ass off and you and I can talk for hours.
Of course.
So,
नहीं, this is infinite चलते रहेगा. But thanks a lot, really wonderful talking to you. Yeah, really an honor.
Thanks, Keshav, and good luck with the series.